Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Firefighters Podcast, where we seek to develop, inspire, and motivate the world of the emergency services operator through a series of wide-ranging conversations. Now, before we go any further, just hit that rate, follow, or subscribe button on whatever platform you're listening to. It's a key performance indicator for us and helps us reach even more people. Now, here's what we've got for you today. Welcome back to our Emergency Services Show 2025 collaboration series. This is episode 2. And in this episode, we shine a light on women in the fire service, not just as a separate chapter, but as a vital force for shaping the fire service of today and tomorrow. I'm joined by two brilliant guests. One of my good friends, Siobhan, better known to her friends as Shiv, or AKA the Fire Mom. You'll find her on Instagram. She's a London Fire Brigade firefighter who has been blazing a trail with honesty, advocacy, and a whole lot of passion for leaving breadcrumbs to that next generation of firefighters. And alongside us both is Ellie, a Norfolk firefighter and national representative for Women in the Fire Service UK, whose story shows just how powerful this movement is in creating support, confidence, and belonging in a role that can still feel isolating at times. We're going to talk about a whole load of stuff. It's fast, it's loose, it's funny, it's really engaging. I really enjoyed this chat. Both such wonderful people, and we talk about lots of stuff from how it feels different to everyday fire service life, working with women in the fire service, how confidence and imposter syndrome play out in our sector in real life, and also the realities of things like menopause, maternity, and balance on the watch, and why inclusion isn't about lowering standards. It's about raising the whole game. I'll see you on the other side. Are we recording, Phil?
Yeah, good job.
Not recording. Don't worry about it. It all gets edited and clipped at the end of it anyway. But shall we go for it? Happy, Phil? Beautiful. So, I wanted to get you both on because, in fact, we met at WFS, wasn't it? Well, the first time we met, Shiv.
That was the first face-to-face encounter.
It's traumatic. But I always just say to people, they go, women in the fire service, it's great to be an ambassador and it's great to support them and do advocacy and all that sort of stuff. But I said, that's not really the reason I go. The reason I go there is because it's a group of individuals who are really humble, really self-aware. They make you feel included, even if you've never been there before. They're really welcoming. And it's not like I always say, when you ever go to an event and it's just full of guys wearing their rank markings, it's kind of like a gotcha thing. People are trying to make each other look silly, or it's like, do you know the right words and the right acronyms? You never get that at Women in the Fire Service. But over the past sort of 18 months, I've been working with a few organisations about different rota patterns, menopause, perimenopause, expecting our firefighters to work till they're 60, 65. And I thought, this is not an even playing field because men and women age differently and stuff like that. So I wanted to kick it off with something like that because, Shiv, you've done a lot of positive advocacy, leaving breadcrumbs is what we said before for you. Like, since you started your career, you've been leaving breadcrumbs for the next generation of firefighters as they come through. When did you first get involved in WFS? And when did you start learning about the different factors that women face in the job? This episode is brought to you in partnership with Godiva Limited. Godiva is one of the world's leading providers of specialist equipment for emergency services market. Godiva produces a comprehensive range of fire pumps, including vehicle-mounted, portable, and their cutting-edge integrated total water flow control system, SAMFlows. I've been using Godiva my entire career as a reliable pump on the fire ground. It is such a crucial element of a successful firefighting team that you want to empower your crews with the very best, reliable, quality product. Reach out to our partners by checking the notes in the podcast. Now back to the show.
Okay, so WFS is something that's brought to our attention in the LFB pretty much at the first week in training school. Okay. We get someone that comes in and informs us of the Firefighters Charity and the FBU and WFS, which I'm really grateful for. And we've got quite an active section of the WFS in London. So we do have our own events in London, just like other brigades do in their own areas. But I was told about the WFS weekend, word of mouth. It gets about, like, it's really good. You've got to try this. Like, you're going to do some incredible training, meet some incredible women. And it was just sold to me by pretty much every single woman that I came across in the brigade. And that was my first encounter with WFS.
Do you know what, Ellie? I've also said it before, though. Like, I actually think it's quite sad that the WFS is quite popular. And what I mean by that is the WFS exists it's associated to all the organisations, all the services, but it sits entirely separate from it. And there's something really unfortunate about the fact that people go there, as Shiv's alluded to, have such a revolutionary experience. They're like, oh my God, I felt so welcome, I had so much fun, I was so accepted, I was given so many opportunities. And the fact that that feels different than their everyday work kind of screams an unfortunate volume about why it's so important and how we're not really quite where we need to be yet.
Yeah, absolutely. So I found out about WFS because I was in the fire service and I left for a year, and I found out about the WFS actually in my year not firefighting.
Okay.
And it was WFS that actually brought me back to firefighting, which was really nice. And it wasn't something that I knew about when I was firefighting, because I come from quite a small brigade.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I definitely heard about it, it wasn't something that was talked about loads. So
and you've probably never been invited to this. Like, I always have to catch Shiv because she's like, yeah, well, you know about it because you're in London.
Yeah.
I always say it's like the future's here, but it's not evenly distributed, because there's people in pockets of the UK Fire and Rescue Service who genuinely have never heard about it.
Yes.
They don't get funded to go from their service. They've never been. They don't know anybody who's been.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're still sat out there feeling a little bit alone, a little bit isolated, a little bit not understood, not heard.
Yeah, that shock of people going to the event and going, oh my God, this is amazing. This is unlike any kind of training I've done before. Even though the training that we do on station, it's similar scenarios, but being in that safe space where people are allowed to make little mistakes and no one's pointing and laughing, no one's trying to make an example of anyone else. It's just that space to have a go at something, see if you can build your confidence in it, or this is one of the biggest things that I discovered about joining WFS and obviously getting to work for them as well. I found out about so many different departments within the fire and rescue service. Like, you hear a little bit about community safety as an operational firefighter, but I don't feel like you delve into the other departments as much as you absolutely should. And our annual training and development event is a great opportunity to learn about all the different disciplines you have within the fire and rescue service.
And you don't feel stupid asking either.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because
yeah.
those people are they're not, you haven't got to, I always say it reduces like behavioural friction, because you haven't got to go to headquarters to go to their department to say, hi, do you mind if I just sort of sit in for a couple of hours? This is the place where you get that interconnectedness. And then you kind of grow a more holistic understanding of the whole organisation, and you find support mechanisms and champions, so that if you do feel a bit isolated where you are, you're like, well, actually, I know Shiv that works in policy, or I know so-and-so that works in community safety, or I know Ellie that works in whatever. Do you know what I mean? And then it feels that less lonely element of it.
Oh, absolutely.
It is beyond a privilege to be able to bring the Firefights podcast to you, and we are so grateful for every single person that supports, listens, shares and follows our journey. But here's the honest truth. It takes a colossal amount of time and work to keep the podcast going. And to help us keep doing it, create more, reach more guests internationally, and make the podcast sustainable, we're asking for you to help. And to do this, we've set up a Patreon page. Now, by joining this, you'll not only support the future of the podcast, but also gain access to exclusive benefits. Now, if you've ever wanted to meet a member of the podcast, buy us a beer, buy us a coffee, and you think anything you've ever listened to on the podcast has been worth £3, that's basically what we're asking you for. By joining our Patreon community, you will get access to every single full episode archive we have ever made. Now, hundreds and hundreds of key documents that we've got in there on fire behaviour, firefighter health, cancer risks, incident debriefs, and so much more. So if you feel like you want to join the Patreon crew and help us make this possible, head to patreon.com/TFFPC or check the link in any episode podcast notes.
And I think the fact that WFS is growing at an exponential scale at the minute, I think, well, for the first time ever, every UK fire and rescue service in the public sector is a corporate member of ours.
Really?
And that's never happened before, even though we've been going for over 30 years now. So just the fact that every service is getting involved. I know in my brigade, we now have a whole women's group where we all talk about different women's issues, and that's not something that existed before. But because WFS is becoming so big, everyone's like, oh, you know what? Yep, we do actually really need this. And like you were saying, it's quite sad that we need it, but also it's nice that it exists.
I remember when like Jules, Danny, and a few of the old schools were telling me about when they first started doing it. And they would have to have like a member of the SLT have to come and sit in on it in case they were getting together, like they were going to sacrifice a goat.
Yeah, we're all witches.
We hate men on the wall in blood or something like this. Shiv, you've had a really interesting journey through the social media element of it as well, because you started it to sort of track your journey, and it's the whole WFS. You've got to see it to be it and be that inspiration for people. when you're talking to all the people that follow you and all the people that you speak at a lot of events, how do you balance the poster child analogy? Because people are like, you've got to see it to be it, but some people don't want to put themselves out there because they feel cringe. And if their service goes, look, do you mind if we use you for a photo, or let's have 4 female firefighters on a truck, and they're like, no, I'm not doing that. But also somebody needs, you've got to kind of get, you and Ange do a lot of positive work around this. You have to kind of get over yourself at a certain point and do it, but you don't want to force people to do it.
I think that's a very kind of individual thing. So for some people, it's just not going to be their thing. It's not going to come naturally, and they're not going to want to do it, and that's cool. Like the background that I came from was like modelling, presenting, being on TV, chatting, speaking to people, blah, blah, blah. So for me, I feel like it's a natural progression to almost shout about the thing that I love so much. And I love everything fire service anyway, which is why I'm here, massive fire geek, right? But then to have this whole section, women in the fire service, that goes alongside it, where it's not throwing any shade on the guys. I love working with guys. I love being on a watch full of men. Like, we have a great laugh. But it's just that feeling of getting together with women where we can almost, like, without even saying it, we can almost like bond over the fact that we're mums, or
1,000%.
We're going through perimenopause, or maybe some of us have got endometriosis, or whatever, like women's issues. We can kind of like almost, even without saying anything, we can have that like bond and that space to just do the thing we love and be with other women as well. But yeah, sorry, going back to the question, balancing the whole poster child thing. Yeah, I mean, I think you're either okay to do that sort of stuff or you're not, and that's cool. But
people don't want to look stupid. They don't want to feel embarrassed. And like, what I loved about, we started our friendship really, really early on, and it was like you were helping support, coach, and mentor people from like step 7. Like I always say to brand new recruits, I'm like, you could start coaching and mentoring someone as soon as you've finished your recruitment. You could actually start before that. And they go, oh, don't I need to do 20 years? And I'm like, no, if I'm at step 1 and you're at step 5, you can help me get step 2 to 3. You don't need to wait till you're at step 97 to then go, get a bit of experience under your belt, mate. And I'm like, you're missing the whole point. But how did you deal with those early scrutinies where people are like, oh, you're telling them about ladders, are you? Telling them about how to tie a bowline shiv.
Like, I totally get that I annoy some people by being such a fire geek. I get that. Like,
so do I.
It's going to annoy a lot of people that perhaps I'm out there influencing, and they've been in the job for 20 odd years, and they're like, oh, what's this girl doing? But I've got nothing but like good intentions to inspire other people. I love the job. I'm going to talk about it. What's really interesting about what you've just said is I have literally just been up to the WFS stand and said to the girls, right, I've been in for nearly 3 years.
Yep.
How long do I need to be in before I can start doing stuff with WFS, like come and do workshops and training, and like, I want to be there, I want to be doing it. And the girls were like,
we've been waiting for you.
Do it now. Why do you have to wait? And I'm like, because exactly what you've just said, I've almost put that on myself and said, well, should I have more experience before I can like get out there and start teaching like the next generation or giving some input.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Gore-Tex Professional Fabrics. Now, we all know the working environment of a firefighter is filled with challenges. We face serious risks on the job, such as heat exhaustion, burns, physical and mental stress, and we frequently come into contact with high levels of toxic chemicals. Now, I have been wearing Gore-Tex for nearly 2 decades on the front line, working in hostile environments, tackling challenging incidents from firefighting to water incidents and in urban search and rescue environments. Gore-Tex have a well-earned reputation for protecting professionals in the fire and emergency services through their family of highly innovative, waterproof, breathable moisture barriers that exceeds global performance standards and are trusted worldwide. Gore-Tex, going further together.
Is that a confidence thing though, Ellie? Is that we talk about this imposter syndrome. In fact, it was in Sabrina's book where she said like, men will go for a job if they've got at least 40% of the criteria. Women will wait until they've got like 99%. Like if someone said to me, Pete, can you ride a horse? I'd be like, yeah, it's like a big dog, right? Yeah, I can sort of sit on that. I'll be all right and I'll make it happen. Do you know what I mean? Whereas women are like, no, I'm going to take a 7-month course in how to ride horses, and I'm going to be, and you're like, there's somewhere on that spectrum. They say if you wait to be ready, similar to shit, if you wait to be ready, you probably waited too long.
Oh, yeah.
So how, when you're working with people at WFS, do we encourage people to balance that self-belief / imposter syndrome / don't make good the enemy of perfect? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're good enough. You can help. You can pass that knowledge on.
You know what's wild? As women, we've applied for the role within the fire service that we've gone for. So we've had the confidence to do that. But there's obviously something that happens once we're in that space where we think, or I'm not quite ready for that. I'm not quite ready to be an RTCI, or I'm not quite ready to be a crew manager. So something that WFS has put together is a women's development program, which is fantastic. We try and run 2 a year, and we have the help from Women to Work, who help us facilitate the program. And we invite delegates from nationally across all fire and rescue services, because it's good to have a mix. It also gives people confidence to do this course around people that aren't in their own service. It's nice. They feel like they can be a bit more open talking about their experiences. And it's basically built to design to help people build the confidence to go for that promotion, whether it's operational or in a support role. So the fact that we can create that for people, and the feedback from it is really incredible. I'm really excited because I'm actually doing this one upcoming in October. So I'll be able to give you all my own feedback after that. But yeah, it really gives people
How
the
did
space.
you get into that? Because people will be... Well, I hate having sometimes do a podcast, it sounds like a warm bath, and then people aren't sure where to go afterwards. If someone wanted to get involved in that, what would be the next deployable action for them to take? How did you get involved in it?
So because I work for WFS, luckily Karen, my manager, she was like, we're going to put you forward to do this program.
Okay.
You can see it advertised on all of our socials. If you're a member of ours, you'll get on the email list, and we'll send it out to you that we're opening spaces for the upcoming program. All you need to do is speak to someone within your service. So if you can think of someone who it would be in charge of that, or you have a women's group that maybe you can go forward and say, so basically WFS are putting on this program. I'd really like to do it. Can you pay for my place on this course? And that's how you basically make it happen.
Remarkably unlikely you're ever going to get a no. I'll be astonished to hear the manager's going to give you a no.
Yeah.
But on that note, Shiv, and I always walk a fine line because you and I have loads of conversations on and off the podcast, predominantly off the podcast, family life, we both have kids and all this sort of jazz. For people managing, you've had some good managers, you've had some bad managers, you've had something in between, the good, the bad and the ugly. Without naming any names, because that's not what we're here for, how have you seen it done well? And if someone said, I'm really petrified, I'm a 50-year-old bloke, I've been in the fire service 30 years, I know what I'm doing, but I've never had a female trainee on the trucks before. It shouldn't make any difference, but for some people it does.
Yeah. Okay. So I think the best thing that you can do if you've got a female coming onto your watch is just, first of all, you have been birthed by a woman.
Yes.
Right? No one has been birthed by a man here. Okay, so you've all got women in your life in one capacity or another, be it your mum, your family, friends, whatever, right? Yeah. It's not an alien.
No.
It's not come down from Mars.
Yeah.
We're women. Okay, and just give that person a chance like you would any other person. Yes, we are different, like you stated. There are things that we're going to go through in our lives that you're not going to go through in yours, but you'll be supporting someone that will at some point. So have an open mind and give that person a chance on your watch. I've had, like we've discussed privately, I've had experiences that haven't been great and experiences that have been absolutely wonderful. I've recently, at the start of the year, joined a new watch at the station that I'm at. And the boys, I'm the only female on my watch. The boys have all been incredibly supportive. When I first joined the watch, they almost put their arms around me and took me in and were like, you are ours now, and that was so lovely to have that, such a boost of confidence that I can be myself around these guys. They've got me, I've got them, I'm a firefighter. We're all kind of standing shoulder to shoulder. That's exactly what I wanted. But yeah, just give whoever it is, man, woman, somebody new joining your watch, give them the bloody chance.
Yeah.
MSA are supporting us on today's podcast, and I chose to partner with them because I've been wearing this stuff for nearly 20 years. And they are the global leader in development, manufacture and supply of incredible, safe products that really protect people, not just our communities out there, but also first responders, most importantly, all over the world. Get yourself over to MSA and have a look at it. The high performance protective clothing for emergency services responders. They also partner with us on the UK Pink Firefighters. It's because we love them. The helmets with the reflective visor, the F1XF, absolutely epic helmet. And not forgetting how they improve firefighter safety through their connectivity in the connected firefighter platform. MSA are always pushing the envelope, and it's a real privilege to be able to continue to grow our partnership together. So whether it's your PPE, your bunker gear, your helmets, your SCBA, your thermal imaging, your Luna, or your portable gas detection, both of us know that this equipment needs to work. It needs to be high quality, reliable, and dependable in the moment. And that's why I use MSA, because they know what's at stake.
I would say treat everybody fairly, but don't treat them all the same. The same way that I won't want to be managed the same way as the guy that's in the audience room managed. You know, I'm ADHD, recovering drug addict, whatever. I will have different isms, different things, the ways that I behave, the way that I like being taught to. There's nothing to do with my sex. It's just to do with the fact with me as a unique person. And my gender, same as my religion, same as my learning difficulties, same as my language, will be a little bit different. And the best thing about the fire service is we attract lots of beautiful freaks. Yeah. You know what I mean? These people are in the fire service usually because they can't exist in a 9-to-5 job. So embrace their uniqueness, embrace their freakiness. Do you know what I mean? Don't make them a special case that you're scared of, because that's our secret superpowers. All those super strengths are the fact that we're full of really weird people. Absolutely.
Nowhere else would you be friends with the people that are on your...
There's some great social media shows. I saw one the other day. Where was that? I trust him with my kids, and he go, "Yeah, but would you eat their food?" No, I'd never eat anything they gave me. And like, "But you trust me with your kids?" Oh, absolutely. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just the different things.
They're my best friend.
Yeah. So we want everybody to treat it fairly. You know, the standards are the same for everybody. However, we can't get away from science. So, you know, we're expecting firefighters to work up 55, 60, 65, pensionable age. We're all going to have challenges as we get a little bit older. Men's testosterone is going to drop, and women are going to go through menopause, and that is going to be a big physical tidal wave and challenge that they have to ride that wave of. We've seen a lot of development around the way we're adapting for this challenge in this person's chapter of life. I'd also like to factor in childbirth. We both have children. Where do you think we are on that? Because there's a big spectrum of differences in maternity in terms of time off and support for men and for women. And then also when women especially get into that, I mean, for some it can be in their early 30s, it could be in their 40s, it could be in their 50s. What sort of steps forward are we taking in supporting people at that chapter of their life? Because it's not to say they can't achieve the standard, but they are going through a transition, as we all will do at that sort of age.
Yeah. So WFS helps services, a little bit like the NFCC, will help share policies within different services. Mm-hmm. So for anyone that isn't aware, every fire and rescue service is managed differently. So, and that, I think that's quite shocking sometimes for people to hear this, that there's not like a national standard. So policies can be shared within fire and rescue services. Maybe it's a little bit like in the fire service when you kind of need to have that example to go, oh, okay, we need something there, so we're going to build it around that thing. And one service might be further along in that progress of, for example, menopause than another. So sharing policies, and WFS helps facilitate that sharing of policies, which is really important. So we've got a Facebook group, we've got WhatsApp groups where people are constantly, if they need a policy on, let's say, a hair policy, just a really random one out there, saying, oh, we would like to see what other people are talking about, how firefighters should be having their hair. And that's men and women included, if you have short hair or long hair. And it creates a space where people can share things really quickly as well. That's the nice thing about WFS. There's no real red tape around it. It's like, oh, here's my email, send me over. Oh, I had this some other months ago. I'll send that to you.
There's no rank in WFS, isn't it? It's more of a political flat landscape. There's no like, can't talk to so-and-so or whatever.
Yeah, I forget that I work with like people like Danny and Alex, and they're huge people within the fire and rescue sector, but I've only ever known them as like directors that I work along with, and I have their numbers and I WhatsApp them. So I think sometimes I don't fully see it until I talk to other people and they're like, oh, you know that person. And I'm like, yeah, because there isn't any rank in WFS, which is so amazing. I don't have to go around calling anyone mom, which is quite nice.
How do you feel about it, Shiv? Because I think you're a little bit older than Ellie. Steady.
Yeah, the big 4-0.
But also, you've already gone through having children. You have two young children. Yeah. You know, or they're both at school age now. Yeah. Imagine if you were in the service when they were born. That balance with you and your husband. I want to take a minute to just tell you about something that I think you're going to be really interested in. Next September, firefighters from across the UK and Ireland will be travelling to Atlanta, Georgia for something truly special. It's the United for 9/11. It's the Memorial Stair Climb. Now, this isn't just any event. It's a once-in-a-generation tribute where 343 firefighters, one for every FDNY firefighter who gave their life on September 11th, will climb 110 floors in their honour. It's about more than just a physical challenge. It's about remembering sacrifice, pushing ourselves, and standing shoulder to shoulder across services and across nations. It's a chance to honour the legacy of 9/11, to pay tribute to our fallen firefighters, and to test your mental and physical strength, and to raise an awareness around mental health and resilience in the fire service. Whether you take part in this climb or not, support from home, or simply help spread the word, you can be part of it. This is about unity, remembrance, and respect. So if you want to learn more, head over to www.memorialstairclimb.co.uk or on Instagram, check out united_911climb. This is going to be something powerful. I hope you can make it. I hope you can support it. Now back to the show.
I think it's really tough for women in the fire service after, obviously I haven't got first-hand experience because I had my kids before, but to get pregnant, to have go through childbirth and then get back, to how you were before when you're knackered and you've got a newborn. I always think, wow, these women are heroes. But there's no escaping it because I am 40. But I'm sure perimenopause and menopause is going to start doing its thing over the next few years. And I have to think about that. Yeah, and it is something that sits in the back of my head. And I'm petrified because I love this job so much. I love it. I love being on the back of the fire engine or, driving. I'm going to be driving soon. I just love that part of it. And the thought of that being
all
taken
of this
away
is unfolding in front of you and you're like, all these opportunities, all this excitement, I'm just learning more and more about it. And you don't want a personal, natural chapter of your life to go, I don't want this to be a barrier for me.
I'll be absolutely gutted if it's taken from me
without,
or maybe that's the control freak in me, but it's just, but having WFS and having organisations like that where they offer the support and the guidance, right, Siobhan, if this is happening with your body, these are the things you can do, these are the policies that are available to you, and where else can you progress in your career that maybe would suit more? That's why it's awesome to go to these events and to be part of this organisation, because I feel supported in something that I haven't even gone through yet. I don't feel as scared about it because I know all the girls there. Got my crew.
I want to be respectful of time because I know we're making these short and tight ones. But Ellie, we've alluded to this national event a few sort of times. When is this? Where is it? If people want to find out some more information about it, what is it we're talking about?
Yeah, so we run this event every single year in June. So our 2026 event is on the 5th of June until the 7th.
Well remembered.
Yes.
Nailed it.
Well, there you go. So if you are interested in being a part of it, and this is, I think, a common misconception with women in the fire service is that it's only for women. That is not the case. So
I've been 4 years in a row,
Yeah, we need allies. We absolutely do. So if you're interested in coming to our event, whether that's as an instructor, because we're looking for people to run workshops, we're also looking for keynote speakers. And if you just want to come as a delegate, because it's a fantastic weekend, it's full of workshops. So whether you're operational, non-ops, there's workshops on everything from our huge multi-incident scenario to if you're in maybe a fire safety role and you want to have a go at operational stuff, we've got a Be a Firefighter workshop. We have drive and appliance workshops. So like Shiv, before she's obviously starting her EFAD, to build confidence, maybe you've not drove a fire engine yet and you want to have a go before you try and do that on station, gives you the space to do that. We have workshops on neurodivergency. We've got fire safety workshops, high-rise tactics, all things like that, literally everything you can think of. Then get in touch with your service. You will have a booking coordinator that won't have been decided yet, but next year it'll be decided. You can speak to someone within your service, or you can speak to us directly. If you access our website, our contact page, get in touch with us and we can put you in the right place depending on how you want to get involved.
Haven't got to use your own personal leave. All the services are on board. All the services are supporting it.
Yes, all corporate members. So they will be given spaces. Your service will be given a space, depending on the size of your service. And you can, it's there to fill that space. And if you can't come as a delegate, I know someone from my service this year went as an instructor on the multi-incident scenario. So there's tons of ways to get involved.
Beautiful. Ellie, Shiv, appreciate you. See you next time.
Lovely.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for today, folks. Hope you took a lot away from that episode. We started the Firefighters podcast to develop, inspire, connect, motivate, represent, and most importantly, celebrate the world of incredible emergency services operators and the wider sector through this series of wide-ranging conversations. We really love creating this podcast and bringing it to so many people. Did you know you can also find these on YouTube? We do a lot of video podcasts now. You can head over to our YouTube page and follow, subscribe there. And as a final ask from us, whatever platform you're on, please rate the podcast. It really helps us as a key performance indicator to reach more and more people. I've been your host, Pete Wakefield. This has been the Firefighters Podcast. And wherever you are in the world, please stay safe, be happy, live with intention, and where possible, please remember and support your firefighters and first responders. I'll see you next time.